Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you a preview for the Real Sociedad versus Manchester United game. It's this Thursday evening, it's a 6:15 kickoff. It's the 3rd of November and it's the Europa League. This is Manchester United's final game of the group stage. Regardless of what happens, Manchester United have already qualified for the knockout stages of the Europa League. Manchester United obviously won their last game in the Europa League 3-0 against FC Sheriff. Man United obviously have won 4 games out of 5 in the group stage. Manchester United obviously lost the game to Real Sociedad at Old Trafford 1-0, but Manchester United were robbed in that game. Lisandro Martinez was controversially penalised for a handball, and it was never a handball. Manchester United are coming into this game on the back of a 1-0 win against West Ham at Old Trafford. The goal came from Marcus Rashford in the first half. It was Marcus Rashford's 100th goal for Manchester United. It was a very good header from Rashford. After the game, Marcus Rashford did admit he wasn't in the right head space. It was Eriksen that got the assist for the Rashford goal. Rashford should have had more than one goal against West Ham. Rashford also came on and scored in the 3-0 win against FC Sheriff. Ronaldo, he played against West Ham. He wasted chances. Obviously, we saw Fred hit the post as well towards the end. I gave credit to West Ham. They gave everything. They had some good chances in the game. Declan Rice had a good effort. Produced a very good save from De Gea. Kurt Zouma had a good chance. Again, De Gea made a very good save. He produced a good save to deny Mikel Antonio. De Gea did very well against West Ham and Erik ten Hag praised him. But reflecting on that win against West Ham, that moved Man United just 1 point from top 4. Man United are now unbeaten in the last 7 or 8 games in all competitions. The last game Man United lost was to Man City 6-3. As you all know, Raphael Varane is still injured. Varane came off injured in the 1-1 draw with Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. It was a thigh injury and Varane went off the pitch in tears. Obviously, against West Ham, Harry Maguire started ahead of Varane. Obviously, Lindelof started ahead of him a few times. Just want to give you some news regarding Anthony Martial. Anthony Martial returns to training ahead of this game against Real Sociedad in the Europa League. Martial has had quite a few injuries this season. I think there's a good chance he'll be leaving Man United next year. Last season he was out on loan with Sevilla. Martial's under contract with Man United until 2024. As for Real Sociedad, they're obviously top of the group. They've got 15 points. They obviously lost their last game in La Liga 2-0 to Real Betis. The Real Sociedad manager is Emmanuel Alguacil. He's been a Real Sociedad manager for several years. Obviously, he's managed Real Sociedad's reserve team before. Real Sociedad do have some players missing. Ander Martin is out with injury at the moment. Mohamed Ali Cho is also injured at the moment. Sadkwe is injured. So they're the players they do have missing. I know some other players Real Sociedad have got. They've obviously got Alexander Sorloth, Carlos Fernandez, Robin Lenormand, Mikel Oyarzabal, David Silva. Obviously, David Silva is a former Man City player. So they are quite a few players that Real Sociedad do have. Don't forget, Real Sociedad let Adnan Januzaj go. Adnan Januzaj is a former Manchester United player. They also let Alexander Isak go to Newcastle back in January. Was it last year? Manchester United won away at Real Sociedad 4-0. It was 0-0 in the game at Old Trafford. That was the Europa League. Manchester United's next league game is Aston Villa at the weekend. Then we've got to play them in the Cup. Bruno Fernandes will be missing the game against Aston Villa. That's been confirmed. Erik ten Hag, though, he's doing a good job as Manchester United manager. He really is, you know. This is Ten Hag's first full season as Man United manager, and I did mention that Ten Hag needs time. His expectations this season will be to get Manchester United a top 4 finish. If he was to win a trophy as well as a top 4 finish, that would be even better. You know, Man United have not won a domestic trophy since 2017. Don't forget, Erik ten Hag earlier on this year got named Premier League Manager of the Month. Erik ten Hag, obviously, he's under contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of an additional year. He replaced Rangnick earlier on this year. He's Manchester United's 5th permanent manager since Ferguson. But, you know, I've always said he's a good manager. You know, revert back to what he did when he was at Ajax. You know, he won Eredivisie titles, he won Dutch Cups. Revert back to 2019, guided Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals, and he developed the young players well. And before, Ten Hag's managed the likes of Utrecht, Bayern Munich's reserves and Go Ahead Eagles. Ten Hag has obviously made 6 signings as Manchester United manager so far. He recommended Terrell Malacia, Martinez, Christian Eriksen, Casemiro, Anthony and Martin Dubravka. Man United have spent over 200 million this year. Ten Hag's also let players go as well, but despite that, he's still inheriting players from other managerial eras. Obviously, Man United are looking to make more signings in January. Not so long ago, I gave you the news regarding Declan Rice. Declan Rice made his thoughts on Old Trafford clay in Man United transfer hint. Man United were in for Declan Rice earlier on this year. Man United decided to obviously sign Christian Eriksen, Casemiro ahead of Declan Rice. Declan Rice played on Sunday and he put a very good performance out. Like I said, he had that very good chance that produced a good save from David De Gea. You know, Declan Rice has been at West Ham since 2014, so he's been with them for around 8 years. Made 180 appearances and scored 7 goals. He's under contract with West Ham until 2024. Before West Ham, he was at Chelsea. He was in their youth setup, but he never got in Chelsea's first team. Rice is predominantly defensive midfielder. He can also be deployed as a centre-half. And as you all know, Man United want a January move for Max Aarons. You know, if it was to get Max Aarons in, that would certainly provide competition for Diego Dalot, and I can assure that would definitely see Wan-Bissaka leave the club next year. Bissaka can't get in the team anyway because Diego Dalot is Man United's first choice right back. Price tag for Max Aarons has been revealed. It's 15 million. He's a good right back. Is Max Aarons. He can be deployed as a left back as well. He's under contract with Norwich until 2024. But anyway, not so long ago, I gave you the news regarding Edwin van der Sar. Edwin van der Sar dismissed talks of becoming Man United's director of football. Van der Sar was linked with the role for quite some time. If Van der Sar came back to Man United, he'd be reuniting with Man United. Van der Sar is the former Man United goalkeeper. Van der Sar's obviously the CEO at Ajax. He's been the CEO at Ajax since 2016. The last time I read up as well, it said Man United were close to agreeing a deal for Michael Edwards, who's a former Liverpool sporting director. He endured around 11 years at Liverpool. Obviously, we've got Mitchell van der Gag and Steve McLaren at Man United. They're working alongside Eric Ten Hag. Got Benny McCarthy at the club, John Murtough, Richard Arnold. Earlier on this year, Sir Alex Ferguson came back to Man United in an advisory role, and the Glazers still at Manchester United, unfortunately. They've been a massive problem at the club for several years, and for quite some time now, United fans have been wanting the Glazers out. They have. The Glazers have owned the club since 2005. The other week, it said that the Glazers had set a price if they're to consider selling the club, and it was 9 billion. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, prior to that, came out and did admit that the Glazers don't want to sell Man United, because Sir Jim Ratcliffe did admit he would have bought the club during the summer if the club had been up for sale. But anyway, on my next video, I will be giving you my predictions for this game. And another video, I'll be giving you my predictor 11. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do. Consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.